Hello, this is Danny, Justin, and Brian, and we research sulfur injections into the stratosphere as a solution to global warming. So one of the main drivers of climate change is global warming. For example, our burning of fossil fuels is a major contributor. It's up to us to reduce these effects. Geoengineering is large-scale projects to alter global systems to our benefit. We looked at sulfate aerosol injections in particular because this can reduce the effects of global warming. And now Justin will talk about how the process works.
Okay, how it works. The basic idea is to force sulfur compounds into the stratosphere. Once up there, they block and reflect solar radiation. This means less sunlight hitting the Earth's surface, which reduces heating. The final result being a cooler Earth.
So the main benefit of injecting sulfate aerosols into the stratosphere is that this will cool the Earth. This cooling is helpful because it has several indirect benefits. Melting of glaciers will be reduced, so sea levels will not rise as much. This is ideal for coastal cities which would otherwise become flooded due to rising sea levels. Also, it will mitigate harmful effects global warming has on farming crop yields and soil quality. In addition, this will lower ocean surface temperatures, allowing oceans to hold more carbon dioxide. In other words, the ocean will serve as a greater CO2 sink. Now, we have seen this cooling effect from emitted sulfate aerosols from volcanic eruptions. The graph to the right shows past records of 4 different eruptions and how they reduced solar radiation. So clearly there are benefits to the system, but now we will talk about whether this is possible to do.
First off, who has the authority to decide to start this project? This is a global project. It affects everyone, everywhere. So we need some kind of international agreement. Right now, the UN is probably the closest organization we have to making this decision. But honestly, they probably don't have any power to make it. Next problem. This is a long-term commitment. Once started, we have to continue. Otherwise, we lose all the benefits. As you can see with the volcanoes example, incoming solar radiation dropped for a short amount of time. In order to effectively do this project, we would need to continuously pump sulfur aerosols into the atmosphere over decades. Which aerosols we use is also questionable. We mentioned sulfate, but other sulfur compounds are also being tested, such as sulfur dioxide, carbonyl sulfide, or hydrogen sulfide. There are also different methods to inject aerosols into the stratosphere. One idea is using artillery to shoot canisters up. This seems like the most risky idea. Like, what if the canister hits something in the air, like an airplane, or lands on something when it falls back down? Another idea is to build massive towers. This would create a ton of jobs for construction and maintenance, but it would take a long time to do. And also, you can't really have a tower over the ocean, so you would also need other methods to inject aerosols into the atmosphere. Balloons are a good idea. Only problem is landing on something and having to go and collect them and reuse them and such. Airplanes seem like the best way to do it right now. The only problem is they're a little expensive, but they're effective. Now, Danny's going to talk about the disadvantages.
First off, releasing large amounts of these particles into the atmosphere will impact its chemistry in negative ways like ozone depletion. The compounds can react with the unstable O3 molecule, so there will be less ozone to protect us from UV radiation, so more people will be at risk for sunburn and even skin cancer. And because the ocean becomes a bigger CO2 sink, ocean acidification increases, which is harmful to ocean life. Because these particles reflect sunlight, there will be less solar energy to drive solar power plants. Also, changes in the atmosphere could cause more severe droughts in Africa and Asia. Overall, we do not know the long-term effects of this sort of project, so there could be other unforeseen consequences.
So to wrap up, sulfate aerosol injections can make the Earth cooler, but there are many disadvantages that we need to consider, such as a changing atmospheric chemistry and its side effects. This is also a major worldwide commitment, so it won't be easy to do. Overall, we believe further investigation is necessary to determine whether this project is worthwhile.